Welcome back to Diecast Resurrection. Today we are working on a Redline AMX. This is one of my all-time favorite cars. I'm so pleased that one of you guys posted this on Reddit. When I first got into Redlines, I was so pleased that there was an AMX. If you went to go buy one of these on eBay, they're just way too expensive. This was probably a nice car at some point, but somebody customized it, obviously. So we're going to bring it back to original condition. It looks like we might need some zinc plating. This hood has been sanded through. I can see scratch marks. So I'm not sure what we're getting into until we get this paint stripped. But we'll get started on it and fix this bad boy up. Before we get started, we're going to drop this little windshield into a cup of super clean and see if it's going to dissolve some of this paint. So we're going to leave that in there for the duration of the video and we'll check back in on it later on. Alright, we're going to strip this with a little bit of aircraft paint remover made by Clean Strip. We'll find out in a minute here if we're going to need to do some zinc plating or not. Hopefully not, but you never know. There used to be one of these little AMXs that showed up at the track, and that thing would run 9s. And he would drive it to the track. He'd just show up, change his tires, and away he goes. Super fast little cars. I'm going to go hit this with a wire brush and a little soapy water, and I will come back in a second. So it looks like we are going to need to do some zinc plating. If you remember in the Beach Bomb video, I was talking about dark spots when you're sanding zinc. That's what this is right here. You can see it's original zinc, and then the center is completely gone. Somebody went a little bit crazy sanding. The hood's completely sanded, there's no zinc left there. A little bit zinc missing on the side. We're going to use a little bit of metal glow and a brass wire wheelie, and we're going to use this to clean and polish the zinc and try to get into these little pitties. If you don't clean these pits out, they're not going to take zinc very well, so we got to make sure everything is nice and clean. And we'll put a little bit of this on there. In case you haven't noticed, I'm doing a voiceover on this video just because I changed out an audio cable and it made my mic way too sensitive, so we're doing a voiceover. So, sorry about that. That should be good. I'm going to go give this a rinse, some hot soapy water. We'll get all this polish off and then we'll have another look at this body. Now that looks pretty good considering we know that the zinc is compromised on this car. Even though now it's kind of blended together after we polished. But I think we are going to put some zinc on here. We've got some deep scratches we need to fill. We got to be careful around the little gills on the hood. But other than that, it's not too bad. So I'm going to go ahead and set up the zinc plater and we'll put a couple coats on here. So this is after one coat. You can still see scratches on the hood, on the roof, on the doors. It's got a nice coating on it, and I just degreased it, so we're going to put it back in for another dose. You got to make sure there's enough zinc on there so we're able to sand the scratches out without actually sanding through the body. You don't want to do too much at one time or you're going to be doing a lot of sanding, and you might actually mess up the car because the zinc pimples appear at that point. Alright, so we ended up doing about 3 coats, and I think we got it pretty close. I got the deep scratches out of the hood. There's a couple little bitty ones right next to the gills, but I don't want to sand anymore around those. And if I keep zinc plating, those little gills are going to fill right up with zinc. So I think we're going to have to just make do. The rest of the car looks pretty good. I've sanded a lot on this car, trying to remove everything I possibly can. I'm going to leave the zinker set up just in case we still need it. But we're going to do a little polish right now and see how it looks. And if we have to, we could throw it back in there for another coat or two. And we're going to put a little smear of that on there. We'll see how this looks. Alright, gamers. I spent a little bit of time polishing up this body, and let's see how it looks. Gonna keep polishing a little bit more. You can see in the light that there's some little micro scratches there. We should be able to get most of those out. But other than that, it looks good to me, so I'm going to do a little bit more polishing, and then I think we can do a final degrease and head to the paint booth. I'm not going to lie, I probably have the dirtiest spray booth out of everyone who does this. We're going to mix up a little bit of 2K urethane clear coat secret recipe. And then we're going to add 1 milliliter of our aqua spectra flame to the mixture. Alright, it's time to freshen up this base. Gonna use a little bit of metal glow, a brass wire wheelie for the initial cleanup. It's looking pretty good, but I want to get it looking a little bit better, so we're going to put a little bit more metal glow on, and this time use a polishing wheel. We'll get this thing looking extra pimp. Beauty! So we're going to give this a little rinse with some super clean to get all this polish off of here with a little toothbrush action, and this should be gorgeous. We'll check in on our windshield here. This has been sitting. It hasn't even been overnight. It's been just a few hours, and look at that, all our black paint is sitting in the bottom of the cup and our windshield is clean. Beauty. So it shouldn't take too much to get this thing polished up now. Oh. This has got some pretty good scratches on it from whomever customized the car previously. So I'm going to grab a little bit of water and we're going to have to wet sand these scratches out. And then we'll do a polish and everything should be fine. So I'm going to grab some water and we'll get on it. Oh, I forgot to mention, you guys know that I changed the logo for the channel to that neon theme. I made some new merch that matches. So I got sweaters, t-shirts, and I think there's even a mug there. I'll probably get one to have on my counter at all times. I really like the dark blue hoodie with the gray logo. I think that's my favorite. I'm going to try put in an order, and maybe I'll get them before Christmas. I'm not sure how busy Teespring is, but they're available if you guys are interested. Check them out. I think we're ready to try a polish here. Looking pretty good. I'm going to keep the water and sandpaper handy just in case I need it. And finally, just to fill in any extra micro cracks or scratches, we're going to give it a dip in some Pledge floor polish, and that'll dry to a nice candy coating and provide a nice gloss on our windshield. Yeah, that looks a lot better than what we started with, so I'm pretty pleased with that. So I'm going to set this to the side, and we're going to let this dry for a bit, and then we should be able to do an assembly. Got our interior squeaky clean here. It's looking good. Put that in here. Beauty. Nice shiny base. And we'll throw in a couple of these stainless self-tappers to finish it off. They kind of give an appearance of a factory post, I guess. Pretty close. So here's our little AMX, looking sharp. Whew! Turned out really nice. Didn't have too much trouble on this one. Luckily, it was in pretty good condition. No deep pits to speak of. I had to throw some deep dish wheels on there. I normally wouldn't, but I am out of stock and my order hasn't showed up yet. So I guess if Buddy wants to change those out, he can. It's not a huge difference in the originals, but it still looks good, I think. Other than that, the rest of the car turned out pretty minty. Really shines in the light. I actually had to turn off some lights in order to film this because it was just blasting out my camera. Make sure you check out the merch. Leave a like if you enjoyed this video. I'm not sure what's coming up next. I'll surprise you as always. And I'll see you in the next one. I wonder if I should blub. Do you think the FTC would strike down on me? Maybe I'll do it really quick.